Hello everyone. I hope you are well. Yeah, we are on part 6. We're pushing. Hopefully, tomorrow we'll be on part 7. Probably we'll be concluding. It would depend what I missed out, and whatever I missed out, probably I'll do an extra one, maybe a part 8. So we are continuing on the theme. We're gonna need more wine, and yeah, we've dissected a couple of things, and I hope you've been enjoying them. So we are at the part where, just a short recap. Jesus tells the people in John chapter 2, he tells the servants to fill the pots with water because they ran out of wine. And they do it, signifying that God will use whatever it is that you have in order to achieve something more extraordinary than yourself. That in most cases we need to look within rather than from without in order to get whatever the promises of God may have been or are, because He will never promise you something that is out of your scope. And if He does, He will make sure that you have every tool, you will have people, anything you need in order to achieve that which He wants you to achieve. So today I want to focus, still continuing, because this story, the miracle of water into wine, it overlaps, it starts as a guest becomes the main character, and then from the guest being a main character goes to the servant goes to the chief caterer, and it involves so many things. And one of the things about a miracle is that it is divinity mixed with humanity. Not that divinity cannot work without humanity. In fact, it's humanity that needs divinity in order to achieve something, and that what makes this miracle so much more important, enlightening, and edifying when we are looking at it. And so Jesus, he has told the servants, fill the water pots with wine, with water. And then after that, after he fills it, in fact, I want to read that text. That is John 2 verse 8. And then he said to them, draw some out and take it to the master of the feast. And they took it. Now, the thing in this portion of the story, obviously, in our imagination, the story just happened once. You're in a party, something goes wrong, you talk to the person who's in charge, and then they do whatever. It's not broken down as we perhaps breaking it down. We are taking our time with it. But now I'm focusing on the theme of faith that is being punctuated in this part of the story, because number one, the servants, they are at a predicament in their work, because for one, they have to do something that has not been done before. Now, they've been told by a stranger who happens to be a guest that they need to take this water, of which they saw, because they poured water into the water pots, and now they have to take it to the master caterer or master of feast, the chief caterer, and they have to take it to him. Now, there's something about faith that is illogical. Faith is illogical. And I believe if faith was very logical, then perhaps everybody would have faith, or rather would exercise faith. I believe all of us do have faith. We have faith in many things. We have faith in people. For you to have faith in somebody, it is because you've seen potential. In order for you to believe in somebody, it's because you've seen the potential. It's cool when a teacher goes to a student and says, "Man, I have faith in you." It's because they have seen, as they've been teaching that particular student, that No, they actually can do it. They just need to apply themselves. When a sports coach tells their player, I have complete faith in you. You might not be performing right now, but I have complete faith that you're going to turn it around, which means the player also has to work on his psyche, work on his fitness, and then they will do it, he or she. So when you have faith in somebody, or if you're asking help from somebody, it's like if you're out of money, and then there are people that you think you can call, that maybe 80% of the time they will help you out because you have a long-standing relationship with that person. They are not a stranger. It is very rare that you would ask a stranger for help, for money, particular large sums of money, like rent money, grocery money, or whatever, large sums of money, and the stranger will pull through for you. It's generally somebody whom you've had a relationship with. There's something that makes you believe there's something, that they can do it. Now, these servants, they are standing on the word of a woman, and at the time, a woman's word was not worth a lot. Okay, it was not worth a lot. So now they filled the water pots with wine, and hoping that, okay, something is going to happen. And then on top of it, this guy says, now take it to the chief caterer. So now it's another thing. That's the thing with faith. It pushes your envelope. It makes you do that you are not comfortable, because they don't have a relationship with, as far as we can tell, with Jesus. They don't know the guy. For a long time, this guy was in his father's shed doing some carpentry and being a whatever he was being, and then all of a sudden he tells people to fill it with water, and now they have to do it, of which it's a big problem. And then on top of it, they are putting themselves at a crosshairs, because what is the chief caterer ought to do with this water? Because the chief caterer, is at the crisis. The crisis being that he's thinking about the lawsuits that they're going to put on him because wine ran out. His reputation is on the line. People are beginning to be disgruntled because there's no more wine. And now he has to take water to this guy. And to do what? Jesus didn't tell, okay, take it to him. We assume that he took it to him for them to taste. And by that time, water had not turned into anything. It was still water. And so this is the part of faith that becomes interesting, that they, with the little faith that they had in the word that Mary had told them, that whatever he tells you, do it. For them, it was enough in order to do all those things that they did. They didn't have to delve into the relationship. They didn't have to worry about, okay, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does work out? Then, it could turn out to be something good. So this is when you become to understand that faith is sometimes not a complex thing. We complicate faith because we put so much thought into the mechanisms of faith, whereby faith is only hearing the word of the Lord and actually doing it as he says, do it. Because, again, coming back to a relationship with the one who's doing it, in the ability of the person that they can do it. Because if people could help complete strangers, then I don't think that you would have much beggars on the streets, because you would have faith in every car that passes by. They'll give you enough to last a month. But since it's not like that, you have faith in people that you have a relationship. That brought this thing of faith to actually break out of your comfort zone and do something that you ordinarily wouldn't do. And so it comes to even our lives as God is trying to amplify our lives, that sometimes you don't need the logic of things. Because sometimes with our finite minds, we will tend to complicate even the simplest things. What God wants us to do, not that He wants blind faith. He knows that we are human beings who think, but what God wants is for you to act without fearing. You see, when you act out of desperation, you know, people who are desperate, they'll do anything. So now, how much more if you have faith in somebody's ability? How much more that you won't even act? So they do it, and actually, the wine does not turn until the chief caterer tasted. So these guys were risking everything by taking. They were risking their jobs. They are risking their reputation, and there's nothing more sad than risking a reputation from someone whom you know, because they will talk about you, you know, or they would reject you. Just a short story. I remember talking to a friend, and we were saying, and I was saying to him, I'd rather, if I'm proposing somebody, I'd rather propose somebody that I do not know, or somebody that I don't really know that well, you know, rather than somebody that I know very well. Because if they reject me, the chances are I will have to live with the shadow of them saying that, oh, you know that guy, he proposed me and I turned him down for whatever reason. You know, so that for me, the embarrassment is too much for me to bear. So I'd rather propose a stranger that if they turn me down, it's water off my, you know, it's no skin off my back, you know, water off a duck's back. So when you see faith in its simplistic form, that it's actually doing what God has told you to do. You don't have to complicate it. If God says go, go. If God says try it. If He says don't do it, don't do it. You know, don't worry about the nitty-gritties, the dots, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. You don't have to worry about that. Just do what He tells you to do. Because by doing this is when you build a relationship of faith. That is when your faith muscles, they build. Because now, I like to believe that those servants, now, they had a testimony that as soon as water turned into wine, they could sit and say, man, there's something about this guy. You know, there's definitely something this guy. He told us to turn water, to fill up the water, and then he turned it into wine. He didn't do any funny things. It just happened. And to my belief, I believe the very act of the servants taking the water to the chief caterer, that what turned water into wine, because they listened to the instruction. Of course, the main character was Jesus who turned it, but the participation, the mundane, the participation of those servants turned it even to wine. So there will be some amongst us who would feel that whatever mundane things they are doing might not be appreciated. In fact, after this, nobody talks about the servants. We talk about this miracle as a miracle of Jesus. But down the line in the story, there are servants who had to do the heavy lifting, fill the pots with water, take it, risk their reputations. That the walk of faith, sometimes it requires you to lose yourself so that you can do the mundane and help everybody else. Sometimes being a vessel is not to your benefit, but to benefit others. I think the most important thing about miracles in life is when other people's lives are made better, just based on you decided to lower yourself. What Jesus was showing these servants, it's what was He ultimately prepared to do, that He would lower Himself, take the form of man, take the cross, and die. In turn, the whole of humanity benefits just because of the mundane. So don't give up in doing the mundane. If it feels like this is beneath you, do it. If you feel, even if there'll be times when you do something that is beneath you, that you don't even benefit from it, then others will benefit. They will even get credit for it. But still do it. Because that's how miracles work. We live in this world not for ourselves, but we live for the benefit of others. So may God bless you. as we ponder on this until we catch up next time. I think we're going to need more wine. Bye bye.